Tonight on The Story, we take you through this homeless camp in Northeast Portland. RVs and vehicles line Sunderland Avenue off 33rd Drive, the road surrounding Portland's first shelter site for vehicles. Many on this stretch just waiting to get in. But that wait for housing just got longer after the city announced the site will soon close.
What did you think when you heard it was closing?
There goes the lifeline.
The sudden change now leaving dozens without a plan.
It's like a time bomb just ticking in the back of our minds.
Hey, thanks for joining us and welcome to The Story. I'm Blair Best. I was at that camp and shelter site earlier today, and let me just say, you could really feel the anxiety from those living there. And frankly, when I pitched this story to the team this morning, there was a feeling of frustration of what seems to be another example of some kind of miscommunication or poorly thought out strategy from the city, leading to the site shutting down. People there don't know what comes next or who to trust. And neighbors who have watched from the sidelines are now shaking their heads. This gated lot off Northeast Sunderland Avenue and 33rd Drive once gave hope to homeless women like Michelle.
Not to worry about your safety.
She's a full-time student and spent the last decade on the streets before moving into this city-run site for those living in vehicles. It's called the Sunderland RV Safe Park.
Well, I've been able to focus on my schoolwork and I got myself up to I'm an A student now.
Earlier this month, the city of Portland announced the site is closing this spring. About 70 people currently stay there.
It's like a time bomb just ticking in the back of our minds.
The city of Portland's website says the site, which is run by the Salvation Army, will stop accepting new residents by the end of December. The park will officially close March 31st.
I think it's bullshit. I think it's not really helping nobody.
The RV park opened in July of 2023. It was the first city-run shelter for vehicles in Portland. Before that, the Portland Bureau of Transportation used the land for maintenance operations. They moved those operations to another location to accommodate the shelter. Turns out the permit for that other location is up, and they need to move back into the spot on Sunderland.
I don't understand how they can't find another parking lot to put your trucks versus putting people out on the street.
I was shocked.
Suzanne Rollins lives across the street from the site. She's dealt with growing homeless camps outside her home ever since it opened.
I have to be very honest. I'm kind of glad all these people parking down here and parking over here are moving. I'm just wondering what's going to happen next.
A spokesperson for the Salvation Army tells KGW in a statement they are committed to assisting people in houseless situations as funds are made available.
They're going to be confiscating everything I've got, everything I own, and I get nothing in return.
This man, who's been at the site for 3 months, says he was told if he wants transitional housing, like a tiny home, he must leave his vehicle and belongings behind.
No, I'm not going to do that.
The city of Portland is working with Multnomah County leading up to the site closure. Their goal is that no one ends up on the streets.
They're hoping they can help, but right now they got no promises.
Which seems to me a big waste of money for the city and a big lack of understanding between different parts of the city government. And we could use somebody with a little better knowledge about managing things, but we'll see. Ever hopeful.
Ever hopeful is right, Suzanne. Okay, so my first thought was, what about the city's new sanctioned campsite for RVs on North Portland Road? Here it is. We were there for its grand opening back in October, and as of this morning, the mayor's office tells me 88 people have moved in. That site can house nearly 200 people. So we asked if any people from the Sunderland site will be transferred to this North Portland site, and we haven't heard back yet. But that still begs the question, why did this site in Northeast have to close? Couldn't PBOT put their maintenance operations someplace else? A spokesperson for the city's shelter services program tells us they're working closely with PBOT and that the site was always envisioned to stay open for 2 years. No one staying at the site seemed to know that part, though. And if they close at the end of March, That won't be a full 2 years, more like 20 months. The spokesperson says PBOT's operations were moved to a leased and temporary time-bound permitted location owned by the Port of Portland. In these next 3 months, the city will be looking to transfer those staying at the Sunderland site into other shelter sites or housing options. And Multnomah County, a spokesperson there tells me they're increasing housing placement resources for those people, resources that we know are already stretched thin.